What did you eat for breakfast?
I ate hot dogs for breakfast and hot dogs for lunch and all the leftover hot dogs.
You had
as
13 hot dogs all day long.
I didn't say anything.
This is the worst part of the show, everybody. This is when Matt usually judges my intros. So, welcome to the coaches group chat. We are overwhelmingly excited to have you with us today.
Everybody, welcome to the Coaches Group Chat. We are so excited to have you here. We are back for another week after an extremely eventful, tiresome weekend. Volleyball Day in the Bay was here. We did not reach our goal, but we had a hell of a weekend, and
Matt's
we're here to
going
talk
way
about
too
it.
fast. My co-host Chad Gordon is here, and he has shapeshifted into a golden retriever.
He's also
Can we give
blind in one eye and
Yeah.
deaf in two ears,
Just like Chad.
just like Chad.
Chad is in New York for another day. And in the actual coaches group chat, we all texted each other this morning, and usually it goes pod tonight, and everybody's like, yeah, sure. And it was not as yeah, sure. It was like, oh, well, I can do this. And Chad was like, well, I can do that. And then it turned into, you have to choose.
Yeah, it was high maintenance today.
Daniel or Chad. And we go, Daniel.
Suck it, Chad.
Daniel got the nod this week, mostly because he was at Volleyball Day in the Bay. I think the text read, we left the Bay when the Bay needed us most. So Daniel can have it.
Yep. Valid.
But we do have, at the end of this pod today, we will have a, it says 2 minutes and 12 seconds for Chad's wedding update.
Wedding update. Yeah, not a week cap. Week cap would be after it. I hope they didn't get married.
That's why it's 2 minutes. This is the ceremony that we're going to press play for you. So we will press play for Chad's
Blind reaction.
blind reaction. We haven't listened to it yet. So we will do that at the end of the pod. So if you'd like to press fast forward now, you are more than welcome.
For those of you that are here, Chad's mom, who's here for the wedding updates.
Wedding updates only. That'll be at the end of the episode. But for now, we will go back to Volleyball Day in the Bay.
Week cap.
Recap.
We have a week cap. I'm going to give my perspective from Volleyball Day in the Bay after I hear Daniel's, because Daniel kind of ran the show.
Do I get a perspective?
Yes, of course. Sorry. You get a perspective as well. I'm just meaning Daniel ran the tailgate, which was a big piece of the
Yes.
puzzle of what we were trying to do. And I only got to see maybe 10
5
minutes of it.
minutes, yeah, you were not
before I
there
had to
for
head
very
into
long.
the gym. So I just want to, give me the lay of the land, the rundown from the
Start
barbecue
from
pit.
the very beginning. What did you eat for breakfast?
I ate hot dogs for breakfast and hot dogs for lunch and all the leftover hot dogs.
You had
as well.
13 hot dogs all day long.
Vibes were high, I will say. Like, it was a cool environment to be in with the young kids playing volleyball. We had the volleyball parents, Stanford parents there, with Moses' dad and their band jamming for both us and the tennis tournament that was happening close by, which
Yep.
went as well as it could with trying to control the noise and respect their tournament. But it was pretty amazing. Like, just the feeling of different people in the volleyball community coming together, because there were Mountain View people, there
Yep.
were Academy people, there were
Girls players, guys
yeah.
players.
Yeah.
There was everybody.
Yeah, adult men's players that
Yeah.
came from the Dimes tournament came later on.
People flew in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just kind of cool to see all of those different volleyball people come together, have a good time, eat some food, and even though I was kind of busy manning the grill and stuff, I got to sit and chat with a bunch of different people, and it was pretty amazing. I loved it.
That's awesome.
Great.
I'd love to hear that. Ariel, do you have any additional perspective from were you getting after it with the parents? Whether you
Perspective from the tailgate specifically? Or
Yes.
just
the whole day in
thing
general.
in general? Yeah, we were all at beach for a little while. Before that, beach was amazing, and if anybody has the chance to go to a beach tournament duel at Stanford, it's like one of the best arenas
It's a vibe.
in the country. It's just such a cool place to go and sit and hang out and be outside. Also, the weather was like more than perfect. It was like 75 and beautiful and incredible. So we couldn't have asked for a better day in March. For that could have been a toss up, and it was just amazing. The tailgate was. I felt like I talked to a million people, and it was just a really nice, special thing that we've been tailgating at these. I've been tailgating since you started with the D'Agostino's. I've been tailgating at Stanford games for a very long time with the parents. And this was just a really, really big welcome to everybody to come and like celebrate and be a part in supporting Stanford men's volleyball. The boys rode by on their scooters, and we all started like yelling for them, and we are like, this is like a real sport and a real thing. And it was very, very cool. So it was just a special event. The game itself, Stanford won both, so we were pretty happy. The TIY giveaway went really well. I got rid of all my hair ties, and I forgot to save myself some. So
It's a good sign.
I
You were
should
in a giving
have
mood.
put a couple away for myself so that I had some, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to make a call.
We'll buy some.
Yeah,
We can buy some.
Yeah. So, but that went wonderfully, and I pretty much just got to like thank people for coming to the game, and all the cutie little girls volleyball players came up, and I got to give some out to the parents in Stanford, and that was like a little special thing to do after the end of the game. And I was really hoping that Stanford would win, so I was like happy doing it, not being like, yeah, and people being like, sorry about the loss. So it ended up being wonderful. It was just a very special, fun, cool thing that I think that there can be even more like good things done with it. I think there's room for improvement with it, and like
Definitely.
there's ways to get more people to be involved, and we can be strategic about that. But I think it was a great step in the right direction towards activating the community for volleyball and men's volleyball in general.
Yeah, I love hearing that perspective. I'll give my little overview of my day, but then I'd love to hear what you guys would like to see for next year, because I want it to be annual. The genesis of it, the idea was centered around attendance, of just trying to get people there, but even more so morphed into exactly kind of what Daniel hit on, was just trying to bring Bay Area volleyball together in something that you can mark on the calendar each year as just a good, fun event for everyone to be able to point to, that showcases Stanford men's volleyball, something that's very close to obviously all of us. But I talked with Andrew Fuller early in the week, and Andrew, who's the head beach coach for Stanford, went to St. Francis with me as well. He was a few years older than me, but we just kind of reminisced on the importance that Stanford men's volleyball played in our just development of having something to look at and see that was at a higher level than we were at, that we could kind of aspire to, and to now be in a position where we've been a part of Stanford for a while. Him jumping in and involving beach volleyball and providing his resources and support to make it something that was bigger than just one sport. I think that's one of the best parts about volleyball, is that men's volleyball, women's volleyball, beach volleyball, there's so much crossover. There's so much support between those three sports. It's not as siloed as some of the other majors. We were talking to some friends who are in other sports like basketball and soccer, and they were saying it's nothing like that. There's crossover, of course, between those two sports, but it's just not as big of a community or tight-knit of a community in comparison. So it's just such a unique thing that we get to bring together, and to hear Bay Area people supporting it, from the free clinic that we ran, where we sold it out within literally an hour, and Daniel had to field phone calls and emails because somehow his email is just baked into that website and cannot be removed. That was great. That was a really fun experience. The parents were so grateful just to come, for them to like walk into the practice gym.
Yeah.
it was really cool to watch those kids' eyes and the parents' eyes of they're taking photos of the walls and
then
the
Matt
facilities are
and
beautiful.
then Matt started talking, and they're like, "Wait, this is exactly like what we get everywhere else." I was watching you start the program or like run it, and I was like, "It's all the Beta Bay kids, and like they're listening to Matt talk. Like Matt, be quiet. Let Alex Rotman go do something and like talk to everybody and whatever."
Well, yeah,
But it was very funny.
It was the right after.
You did a great job.
We had Moses did speak and spoke to the Bay Area kids and did a thing there, and Costi and Taylor and Marty all did their thing. And yes, it was very much a typical clinic that we would run because there's 75 kids on 3 courts. But the boys got to come in right after we had serve and pass and then mobility, and it's just a busy day. And so it's always a balance of you don't want to like overload them where there's a bunch of distractions, but they all came in for, they kind of came in waves of 15, 20, 30 minutes, did high fives, helped out with the drill, and then popped out. And Marty and I finished it up, but it was just fun to see them experiencing Stanford in a different way and actually being on the floor and being in the practice arena and gym. That was a cool piece. And then, I loved, that was actually one thing when you guys were talking, I was out there for maybe 15 minutes at the barbecue, and a few of the boys rode by on their bikes. And one of the ideas that sparked into my head for next year was we need to do the typical football walkout where we like line the walkway and cheer for them as they come by. That was one of my thoughts.
We'll get a marching band.
Yeah, we need to literally. I there's so many ideas that I have
What are we doing?
for next year of what we can do. But yeah, that's what I wanted to take it to next, because obviously we didn't hit our attendance number, but I think we created a very fun event and a fun day that did bring more people in. We doubled what we got on Friday. On Saturday, we had just under 1,500. The goal was 2,175. So we have room to grow still, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If there was anything that stuck out to you of what you would like to try to improve, to add, that we can make better for Volleyball Day in the Bay next year. You want to go first?
Thank you for asking that. Where were the students? I was just like, I thought that one side was packed, both across the end lines. Both
Sidelines
end lines,
and end lines.
Both end lines were great. Like, it was good. Then the one other side, it was just like we've got to seat people over on that side and probably have the chairs set up and get people over on that side. I think that all of the people, I look at it from a camera perspective of every single person that is taking a photo of the court, and you see 0 fans on the other side. So it didn't look like anybody was there, even though there was a lot of people there.
Yes.
So we have to make these events look like everybody's there and fill the lower bowl so that we can, whatever. That's just on the branding side of it.
100% true.
Yes.
We need to do that.
Yes. The students, I mean, I don't even put this on the, I think that there needs to be some sort of activation to get students there. And whatever that means, we need to make it happen. Read between the lines on that one. But we need to get students there, and we need to make it a fun thing for people to do. And maybe base it around the calendar for students as well. Just like, how do we've got so many people on that campus that can be rowdy and fun and like create a good environment, and we are missing out on that aspect.
That definitely was the untapped piece of the audience, no doubt.
And we can't just leave it on the team to go and do that. I think that is something that as the adults, we need to make that happen. And give them the support to be able to go make that happen. It's not just on them to be in there, go bring your friends and have your friends come. That's just not how that works. Like, we have to get groups of people to come together.
Yeah. I thought of getting an A-frame and putting it in the middle of GSB and saying 5 p.m. Saturday, seed round AI startup interviews at 5 p.m. in Maples Pavilion.
That's so funny. That's actually hilarious.
Machine learning startup, 5 p.m. stock options available.
We should have asked Chris to just be like, hey, listen, just put a thing out there and be like, I'll talk to whoever, or get a couple like people to come and like be there.
We need to hit our target market.
Exactly. And hit the, that's smart. What are we doing?
Daniel, what were your thoughts? What would you like to see?
Probably along the same lines as that. I think the whole student thing was probably just a scheduling thing because it was dead week.
Yeah.
A lot of kids leave campus if they don't have finals. And so that was probably part of the issue there. But, some gymnasts came through the tailgate and I got to chat with them a little bit. And I think just, it's volleyball day in the Bay. And I said there was a lot of volleyball community people there, but I think we need to include other people. The gymnasts were thrilled and like, this is so cool and stuff like that. And so
interesting.
Just making it volleyball day in the Bay, but trying to get people to be like, volleyball's cool. You guys should come check it out.
Ball day in the Bay.
Balls in the Bay.
Ball day in the Bay. That's it. What are we doing? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I got to chat with them and some red coats, and I never have nice conversations with red coats, and I did for the first time. Yeah.
That's so nice.
But they were,
the world is healing.
I was feeding them. So, and then I would have liked to see a little bit more alumni from men's volleyball there as well.
Alumni weekend is this upcoming weekend, so that's
probably another tough scheduling thing there. But at least there's a handful of local ones that probably could have made it 2 weekends in a row. But I don't know.
Ideally, it would be volleyball day in the Bay, and then alumni game. Next day.
Yeah, alumni game has always kind of fell on finals week.
After finals.
That's really unfortunate.
So we were originally, because I asked the boys even before this was months and months ago, before I was even coaching, like thought I was not coaching. I asked them, what day do you want me to make it? And originally we had said UCLA.
Yeah.
The problem is that UCLA falls on spring break, and so they were like, the students are going to be gone.
Yeah.
We'd rather try and prioritize the students. And so that's why we shot with this one.
It
but I do think we
had
ran
nothing to do with the fact that UCLA is ranked number 1 and BYU was not ranked number 1. It had everything to do with where it was ranked, right?
I think it just really came down to they wanted the attendance. They wanted to get the students there. But yeah.
I wonder how the attendance will be for UCLA.
It'll probably be pretty good.
I got to think it's going to be good because they are ranked number 1.
It was good for Hawaii.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of 3 programs, I think, or 4 programs that probably traditionally pull some more fans in. Hawaii's one. They're going to bring their fans. BYU's one. They bring their own fans. I think they probably had about 600 fans of the 1,500, if not more, for Friday and Saturday. And then you have UCLA and Long Beach, just traditionally strong programs. So I'm sure the numbers for UCLA will probably be pretty good, even without students being anywhere close.
It'll be pretty good.
I think ideally the one thing I was thinking is I was pushing for the boys was senior night, to make senior night be the traditional volleyball day in the Bay, because it's the weather's going to be pretty good in the end of April. Timing wise, it should work out pretty well. We're playing Menlo for our senior night. I thought that would be cool because it's the other Bay Area team.
Yeah. I kind of like that we separated it out.
But no, I agree. I think it worked out beautifully.
Senior night is a lot. Senior night's like a lot of things.
That's true.
And
That's true.
There's a lot to get together for it. There's a lot of like, I think that yes, it's nice to have them. Jackson's like, I'm bored. Get me out of here.
Peace. Speaking of seniors.
Senior night.
talking senior night.
Oh, careful.
Do you want to lay the groundwork for the next one?
Yeah, so I don't know if this is just on my feed, but in kind of the food world, there's been some controversy with Noma, which has been one of the top restaurants, and their owner, Rene Redzepi, is under fire for kind of his techniques that he's used in the kitchen in the past. There's been a lot of, I guess, verbal abuse and maybe some actual physical abuse as well that has come up. I haven't read the article because I didn't want to go through the paywall to pay and read it, but it kind of made me think of coaching styles as well. And I've been a yeller at times in the gym, but I feel like I've evolved in that. But I think those types of techniques worked in the kitchen back then to get people motivated. And do those techniques work in the gym now? Because they also used to work in the gym back in the day as well. And or do coaches need to evolve, or can we still find athletes that are motivated by a little bit of fear and just want to?
Matt's like, I don't want to answer this at all. I also wonder how many people, while Daniel was starting to say that, looked at what they were watching or what they were listening to, and it was like, wait, what podcast am I listening to right now? They're like, cooking? What are you talking about? You really brought it back well, though, so well
That's
done.
what Doc's all about. He's about a good crossover.
You do love a crossover.
I mean, I think there's a lot of parallels to cooking and sports.
Yeah.
Like the whole, if you can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen is like pretty similar to sports.
Or like
And
the
so-
cooking and baking.
Cooking and baking, that's right.
Yeah.
Setters who cook and setters who bake.
We want chefs. We want chefs,
Yep.
not bakers
Yep.
You
out
got to
there.
be prepared for both. You're gonna get in the weeds with both, and you got to figure out how to, fight your way out of it.
There's plenty of movies about being the head chef who's just an absolute maniac, but delivers results. This is just leadership, right?
Yeah.
And you can paint it however you want from a perspective of the actual job that they're doing, but in reality, what they're trying to do is they're trying to perform.
Yeah.
They're trying to perform in whatever that task may be.
Have you played for a yeller?
Yes.
I've played for a yeller. Have you played for a yeller? I don't
I'd
think you have.
I'd say half. I'd say
What's
a half.
Who? What are you talking about?
I had
who.
I had a high school coach who was half of a yeller, like had a temper, but was able to balance it pretty well.
Okay, sure. Ish.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on it?
I think that there are so many different ways to lead. I was talking with Daniel before we started recording. The theme of the week last week was confidence for Stanford, and one of the drill names.
You have a theme of the week too.
Oh yeah, we have an overarching theme of the week,
I didn't know
and
you
then
did a theme for the week, and then each practice.
and then each
Got
day
it.
has a mini theme within it.
What's
so,
that week's theme?
That's an inside joke, so it's not going to hit for this podcast.
Okay. Mhm.
The idea was the theme of the day was weaponized confidence, and I was using an example of Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs was known for having a reality distortion field around him, meaning that he just refused to accept what other people would
That
tell
was
him.
Moses' caption today.
I know, so it obviously connected. I saw that and it kind of got a little choked up and proud. I was like, we're
listening to me.
We're seeping in. Yeah. Moses actually has been helping me in the writer's room
that's
pre-practice
nice.
as I'm writing my stuff. He'll let me hear his thoughts, so that's been good. But the idea was I refuse to accept mediocrity. Right? That's what Steve Jobs basically would go through. It would be like, the iPhone's going to take 2 years to develop, and he'd say, you have 6 weeks. And they would get it done, like some small piece of the iPhone, whatever it was. And he would just push, because the quote was basically that most people are not used to being held to a standard of excellence. And so Steve Jobs was a noted horrible person, quote, to work for, because he would verbally abuse you. He would run you into the ground. And there are many people in many facets that do that. It doesn't mean that I think that's not how I act. I think I'm more, I go along the lines of trying to be more evolved, in the sense of you need to communicate and meet people where they are at. And, you get more with honey than with, I don't know what the saying is. Fill in your saying here. You get more with catch more flies with honey than with sea salt. I don't know.
This episode is going to take a pause really quick, because Matt has been very, very known for butchering sayings like this. And so much so that we used to have a Twitter account called Glass Boats back in.
It still exists.
Yeah.
Go look up at Glass Boats on X.
Yeah, on X. And it was just things that Matt messed up. And it's actually crazy. I'm going to read them in a blooper section for this podcast at one point.
they're pretty
Maybe at
funny.
the end of this podcast, I'll pull it up. Keep going.
I feel
Never
like
mind.
Daniel's looking it up right now.
Glass Boats.
You catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
you're looking that up.
Yeah.
Oh, wait until you hear the ones that he's messed up. These.
So to put the pin in my part for Daniel's side, I think there's absolutely coaches that can perform and can get the most out of their team by verbally going after them. I absolutely think that is the case. Do I think that that is right for every athlete? Absolutely not. I think it's very challenging for a lot of athletes. But if the overarching understanding of trust is there, that what we're aiming for is excellence, and the reason why I'm yelling is because you're not living up to the standard of excellence, there's something there. And some athletes really do connect with that, and that is okay. I think a lot of athletes are not that and struggle with that and can really cower away from it. So it's kind of an input-output thing. You need the right people around you to be able to be that coach. And so you have to recruit to that.
Valid.
What's your thoughts?
I think that there are a lot of ways to do things, which is what you said. There are a lot of ways to do things. I think that the reason why the culture has shifted is because people are not okay with abuse. There is a very, very, very hard line on what people used to do, coaches, chefs, leaders, that what people used to do that was borderline, if not over the line of abuse. And so culture shifted with the abuse getting called out, and people now can't get away with doing the things that they used to do because it was borderline abuse. Yeah. That being said, I think that people crave discipline and people crave a structure. There's a reason the military is as in line as they are, because the structure and the discipline is so healthy and is so good. And the way that you go about that is different in different settings. My personal style is, I would say that it's when they think that they're good, that's when I'm harder on them. And it's when they are struggling, it's when I'm giving them grace at times. There's also times where it just depends. I'm always gauging where they are at, where I am at, where we are at. That's always something that I'm gauging. But in the practice gym of being the drill sergeant that has never been my style, but I also am very strict in certain things. So the yelling and screaming, I think there is a time and a place. I wouldn't say that, no, I'm not a yeller. I don't think that I'm always like that, but yeah, I will yell if I need to. If I believe that the level of my voice is going to affect the impact that I need to make, I have the level there and I can raise it. But it's the abuse that I see as the reason for the change.
I think we can all agree that there's just a hard line on. You can't go Bob Bertucci and slap the kid across the face during the timeout.
No, I agree with that, and that was insane when that happened. But like even the borderline abuse, that is what in our sport we've had. We still have an issue with, especially in college coaching, on the borderline abuse. What does that actually look like? Whether it's mental abuse, whether it's physical abuse, whether that physical abuse is so much easier to see happen. The mental abuse is not. Yeah. It's not. The emotional abuse is not easy to see. And it does not mean it's not real and it's not valid and it's not there. So I think that's where the over the line abuse is so easy. Yes. That's where people have gotten fired and in trouble, and that's an easy one. It's the borderline abuse that is where people are like, is that okay that you do that? That's where we're talking. I feel pretty strongly on like reasons why you're doing what you're doing and who that involves. Like that there has to be so much intention in the way that you are taking care of kids. Yeah.
I want to let Daniel have the final word on this. Yeah. The one thought I had after hearing you speak there, I think sometimes this is what I feel when I'm parenting and struggling with my own daughters, on my own frustration coming up. And when I raise my voice at them, I usually feel that it comes from a place where I'm actually just frustrated with myself because I can't come up with the right words to get through to them. And so I will raise my voice because either I feel like they're not connecting or not listening. But in reality, most of the time it's just I'm not connecting with them on the right level for it. So that's just one aspect where I felt like I sense when I do that, more often than not, it's more my own issue than it is like my children
Sure.
or even my athletes, right? There's times where I yell at an athlete because I think they're not paying attention and they're disregarding what I'm saying because they're not focused or whatever it may be. And more often than not, when I look back and I reflect on it, I think, oh, actually, I just didn't do a good job of explaining what it is that I needed to that person, and I need to do a better job as a coach in that moment. But Daniel, final word for you. I know you've spent probably more time than anyone in terms of reflecting on the best way to communicate to athletes. So what's your thoughts on this?
So I think sports is an intense environment to be in, and sometimes you're in a loud gym and you just need to yell as well. And I think it is how they are filtering or interpreting the tone and the words that are coming out. And it takes more than just yelling at them to understand that. It takes conversations on the side. I adopted, I guess, a technique of if I did need more intensity and I did raise my voice, there was always a follow-up conversation with every one of the athletes and say, hey, I got heated. You know, it's the competitiveness in me. I believe you had more in you, and I was trying to get that out of you. That may not work. I did see you kind of change what you were doing there, so that was great, but that's not how I want to motivate you. I'd like you to figure out how to do that so I don't have to be the one that's doing the motivating. And in every follow-up conversation I've pretty much had, every athlete's been like, no, I understood what I needed to do. And it was, in the conversations that we had outside of that. And I think that's important. I've been having more of those conversations with my kids as well as a parent of like, today even my son I told him to do his homework. He wasn't doing it. He laid around. He wasn't doing it. And then he said he didn't know how to do it, but he made no attempt. So obviously I was like, Kellen, and I raised my tone and we had a follow-up conversation and he understood. And so it takes some time and some effort and some emotional intelligence, but I do think that we as parents and we as coaches need to have conversations so that their filter is getting the information that they need in order to be the best versions of themselves.
Yep.
So,
agreed.
Look how much this podcast is evolving, guys. Look at us. This is amazing.
Emotional
We
Chad
have
over here.
Emotional intelligence. Chad left. Senior Chad.
Chad's laying on the floor down there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that is actually one thing that Jackson has in common with Chad. They're both stubborn as hell. Both those guys. All right, well, that's
Is this it?
that's
No, it's not it. It's not it.
Oh,
we got Chad's
the blinds wedding update.
Chad's wedding update. Are we excited for this, everybody?
I purposely said do not open it so we can hear.
Okay, show more. The transcription
No, don't read it.
is wild. Okay, ready, everybody?
Don't talk to me that way.
Lacey, Bobby.
All right, so 43rd take. It's fine. Good evening, friends, and welcome to episode Wix of the weekly wedding roundup. Lacey and I have spent the last 7 days here in Manhattan, touring wedding venues from private clubs on the Upper East Side to some black tie friendly and playful hotels that also bring some funk that we think could be cool. No decisions have been made yet, but we'll continue to ponder. I myself have been to a couple of different fashion spots that I did not agree to. The first being a vintage clothing store where I bought a dinner jacket from 1902. So we'll see if that thing survives until the actual wedding. But it's made it 125 years, so I like its chances. This morning I went to a fine tailoring shop and tried on some different jackets and got the vibe for the black tie vibe, if you will. And yeah, we have eaten at many amazing restaurants. Our planner, Big J, Jesse's been amazing, has really opened some doors for us that we probably would not have been able to open ourselves. But at this point, we have no venue, no attire, and a bunch of decisions to make. But I think overall it's been a phenomenally productive week. Lacey has been dress shopping all week. It's been great. But we are both ready to sleep in our own bed.
Did you say we are vetting venue options?
We are vetting venue options.
No, that's
Yes. What?
You didn't talk about that?
We are wedding venue options? What are you talking about?
Did you say anything about the venue options?
Yeah, that's literally what I just did.
Okay. You said we have no venue options.
No, we have all the venue options.
They're fighting.
All right, coaches group chat. Until week 11, this is the wedding update. Signing off.
My goodness. That's it. Chad's fired. He only can send us voice notes from now on. That was incredible. It sounded like he wrote some of that out.
Yeah.
Like,
For a moment, I was like, ChatGPT? But then I was
that's
like,
Chad GPT.
but then I was like, no, there's definitely some personalized Chad touch.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
Claude.
It's Claude.
He's
He's using
downloaded his
Claude.
brain into Claude. Claude wrote that for him.
Okay, well, that was Chad's wedding weekend update. And we will see you next week.
On another rousing, raucous, rambunctious, and emotionally intelligent episode of the Coaches Group Chat.
Can't wait.